Hello everyone. We did a lot of things yesterday, and I was like very happy for the changes that I did, and the loss that I took. Moving on today, let's see what happened. Okay, the way I marked the charts became completely different. I started treating PDRS like an as an levels. Okay, so basically at the start of the session all we had was this daily fair value gap, we had this fair value area, we had this 4 hour fair value gap, we had this high, we had another high, another high, another high, another high, all time highs. Similarly in ES we had daily fair value gap, a low, 4 hour rejection low. The 4 hour fair value gaps low was still being respected in S&P. Okay, so we were strongly respecting the bullishness, but we also had this 4 hour fair gap against us. Okay. In NQ, we took the context of the 4 hour fair gap without tapping into it, which means NQ is bearish as fuck and ES is holding. Okay. So we had three news today, two red folder news for USD and one for GBP. So basically all our trades were after it. The first trade I didn't trade because it was before news. The instant account doesn't allow news trades, I guess. Okay, so the price, my scenarios were simple. We had fair value area, daily fair value. We can push higher from this fair value gap, plus we had an 1 hour fair value gap here with fair value area. We can push higher from here till this high or the 4 hour fair value gap. Similarly, in ES, we could potentially sweep the London lows and push higher, or we could even create an SMT, because S&P is like more stronger than ES, so we could fail to create a low and also push higher. Okay, this was my first scenario. The second scenario, we see a sell from Asian high towards this lows. The third scenario, if we manage to see a sweep at this London high, we could still push lower. Okay, the first thing what happened was mm, we had a price pushing lower at the market. It came into this fair value gap plus fair value area. Although it closed strongly here, we gave a sharp rejection at this point of time. Okay, this sharp turn with this fair value gap invalidation was actually nice. So basically I wanted to look for a long in ES, right, because it's stronger. So my first narrative is the London lows. My drawn liquidity Asian highs, the swing point, that is this highs that we have right here, and the interest 5 minute fair value gap inversion, it could be here, or 5 minute fair value gap invalidation, which could be here, or anywhere is fine. I could have taken a 1:2, but at this point we had like a red folder news in 10 minutes. Okay, so I didn't take this trade. Also I was waiting for a limit entry somewhere around little bit here, but this 1:1 would have actually been really goated. Okay, this was the first day that I missed. After that, what happened is price took this price, ran this highs, but in Nasdaq we were respecting this 1 hour gap. We were like oppositely correlating. It wasn't even like we were trying to hold and push higher. We had a good move down in this. So at this point, it's like both are like not correlating. So I don't want to take a trade anymore in this pair. So I was off this. Okay, because at the same time I was in EU. I was looking at EU. Let me pull up the EU pre-market analysis. Pre-market, what we had on EU was simple. Okay, basically I had this fair value gap, 1 hour fair value gap. We had this fair value area, we could push us lower. We were coming off an weekly fair value gap in GU, but EU was like more strongly bearish that it didn't even tap the weekly fair value gap. That's an SMT in itself from the weekly fair value gap. Okay, we had a good market structure lower. We had this fair value area from which we can push lower, or else we could go sweep this 4 hour fair value gap and push lower, or we could break below this and push lower. We have some clustered lows and low resistance runs in the GU also. Okay, so that was my bias, only short bias, no long bias at this point, because I had 4 hour fair value gap against us and weekly fair value gap against us. So basically I wanted to look for a short from this 4 hour fair value gap. Okay, Or so what happened actually is price came into this 4 hour Favali gap. Okay, fine. This is when I am going to look for a shot. When while you came to this 4 hour Favali gap, sweeping both the highs, which is very nice. Geo actually swept the whole AM low, swept the weekly rejection. I reswept it. Okay, so it was also nice. We had an SMT with the weekly February gap. There's a big SMT, and this is the second SMT that we had. That's a smaller SMT in itself. EU is more stronger. I mean, strongly bearish. So I want to enter only in EU. We had this 5 minute sharp turn. We had this SMT. We had this big move lower, and then at this candle we invalidated the 15-minute rejection low, invalidating this fair value gap. So for honest one trader like me, I took an entry here. Okay, took an entry here, TP at this size, and SL was 1:1, something like this. Okay, which was nice. And what we had supporting the idea of not taking a loss was this 5 minute fair value gap. What we could have done is we could have waited for this 5 minute fair value gap and taken a shorter trade, but I didn't do that in this case. In this case, I just took at this expansion because I expected price to just keep dumping lower from here. Maybe if worst case we go here, and the worst case happened, we came here and then we pushed lower. But the thing that I didn't like about this trade was the fact that we were like very slow. We were very slow. The delivery was very bad. Actually, what is happening is price is most probably going to take my TP because this 15 minutes fairly gap and holding anything. Okay, so what happened is I wouldn't have even what happened at the end of the trade is I got stopped break even to almost slightly in loss because like a dollar in loss. What happened is when we did this and we did this move lower, we found this new protected high. That's where my SL was trail. Okay, then when we close below this low, I trail my SL to here. Then when we close below this low, I trail my SL to here. But what actually happened is the protected SL is still protected. But the fact is the spreads took me out at this area. The spreads got me out at this area at like $1 PNL, which is not bad, but I don't care about the $1. But the thing is that sucks is I should have left like 2 to 3 pips from here. I should have placed my SL somewhere around this area in that way that even the spreads should not take me out. That's one thing that I have to learn from this trade. The spreads took me out. Then what happened is we respected this, we came low, and we closed below this 15-minute rejection low. So now definitely trade is going to go towards my TP. But the fact is that this delivery isn't as good as I wanted it to be, and I got stopped at around after the NOE close, so it doesn't matter that we got trailed. The only thing is I could have kept my SL a bit higher than my protected high because there was the case of spreads. But I didn't do it and I got stopped. It's a good learn. But today was not lost. I didn't take any shit setup. Okay, I waited and took the best entry. Okay, so that's a good thing. I'm not like waiting for a multiple confirmation. In that case, I would like be entering somewhere around here now. So this okay, 5 minutes sharp turn and something good and a nice idea. I just enter. Okay, sometimes I can be wrong and I could take the L, but statistically I think that's fine. Okay, so that was today's recap. Thank you.